The film begins with a teenage girl in high school named Vada. She just woke up from sleep and enters to brush her teeth in the bathroom, but she falls asleep with a toothbrush in her mouth until her younger sister, Amelia, calls her and wakes her up. At that moment, Vada quickly gets up, puts on her clothes, prepares breakfast, and then her boyfriend Nick, her schoolmate, picks her up. On the way to school, they play their favorite songs and spend a nice time together. Nick stops at a place to buy his favorite strong coffee and gets Vada the ice cream she loves. Then they go to school, start the school day until suddenly Vada finds Amelia sending her a message on the phone, asking her to call immediately. Vada excuses herself from school to go to the bathroom, where she calls Amelia and finds her scared. Vada gets worried and asks Amelia what she's scared of. Amelia tells her she's scared because she feels she's grown up and is experiencing something that happens to girls. Vada reassures her, tries to calm her, tells her it's normal and happens to all girls, promises to take her out at night, and gives her advice on what to do when it happens. After that, Vada hangs up with Amelia and enters the bathroom, where she meets her famous show dancer classmate Mia. Vada is one of her biggest fans, so she enters the bathroom, sends a message to Amelia telling her she met the famous star Mia. Then Vada goes out and watches Mia putting on makeup from a distance. Without introduction, Vada tells her she's beautiful and doesn't need makeup. But seconds later, both hear the sound of gunfire in the school. A dangerous gang attacks the school, kills many students. And at that moment, Vada and Mia enter the bathroom, lock themselves in, and are terrified as they hear the gunfire. Vada takes out her phone and sends a message to someone, but immediately she and Mia silence themselves when they hear someone opening the door. Here, we see their classmate Matt enter and hide in the bathroom too, scared and crying because his brother was killed by the criminals. Matt crawls under the door and hides with them, and they're shocked by his appearance. Fortunately, the police arrive, arrest the gang, and from that moment, Vada's life changes 180 degrees. She locks herself in her room all the time, doesn't talk to anyone, and becomes depressed. But one day, her mother Patricia, her father Carlos, and Amelia make her sit with them. At that moment, Amelia shows her a list of the deceased students' names. Vada sees her friends' names, gets emotional, and feels sad but tries to hide her feelings to reassure Patricia that she's okay. Then she gets up from the table and they all get up, but Vada reassures them she's fine and wants to take a shower. She enters the bathroom, stays there for a long time, and when she's done, she returns to her room and tries to sleep. Suddenly, she gets a notification on Instagram. She opens the phone and is surprised that the message is from Mia. Vada decides to reply and check on her. They get to know each other more, and Mia tells her she's scared because she's alone at home since her parents traveled to Japan for work. Mia offers Vada to come stay with her if she wants, and Vada promises she'll come. Then she ends the conversation to sleep. The next day, Vada wakes up from sleep startled, quickly takes a shower because Patricia is taking her to meet Nick, who's waiting for her in the park. At that moment, Nick sits with Vada and tells her he's deeply affected by their classmates' deaths, but decided to ask himself why he wasn't one of those who died. He realizes God has a purpose for keeping him alive to fight crime and enforce the law in the future. Then Vada returns home and finds Amelia and Patricia following news about the crime. She opens Mia's Instagram and browses her performance videos. Vada tells Patricia she's going to Nick's, but decides to go to Mia's house because Mia is the only one who lived through what she did and understands her condition. Vada goes to Mia's house, finds Mia waiting behind the door as if expecting her early, and Mia welcomes her. Vada is amazed by Mia's house decor, thinking Mia designed it, but Mia tells her parents are artists and chose everything in the house. She also says she's always alone because her parents travel a lot for work. Vada tells Mia she's very impressed by her performance dance videos and sees her as someone who can always change her life. Suddenly, Vada finds a message from Nick informing her that Matt's brother's funeral is tomorrow. She closes the phone because Patricia is calling her a lot to check on her, and she doesn't want disturbance. Vada asks Mia to go with her to the funeral, and Mia agrees. Immediately, Vada surprises Mia with a strange question, asking if she has nightmares since the incident. Mia shocks her, saying she can't sleep at all. The next day, Vada and Mia go to attend Matt's brother's funeral. Matt thanks them for coming. Then Vada returns home, puts her deceased friend's pictures in a box among books while sad, enters the bathroom affected, unable to believe her friends died in such a horrific way. Due to overthinking and her bad condition, she can't sleep all night. The next day, Amelia decides to get her out of her state and takes her to get a drink together, But Vada refuses and stays in her place. Amelia keeps insisting until she gets fed up and leaves. Vada sits in front of the TV, watching her favorite show. Suddenly, Mia sends her a message asking her to come stay with her. Vada goes to Mia's, and they watch the show together until Vada feels hungry. They both get up to make food, eat together, and while eating, Vada asks Mia about her romantic life. Mia tells her she doesn't do anything in her life except dance, but since the incident, her mental state is bad, and she can't go to dance lessons. At night, we find Vada sitting on the bed next to Mia, watching a movie. Mia feels safe because Vada is with her and falls asleep. Vada gets up to leave, but Mia senses her and asks her to stay until she falls asleep. Vada agrees and stays next to her until she sleeps. When Vada leaves, she calls Nick and tells him she told her mom she was with him, so he doesn't say something else and cause a problem. She tells him she was with Mia at her house because Mia lives alone and is in a bad state. When Vada returns home, she opens a laptop and follows programs demanding child protection from robberies and criminals until she feels tired, closes the laptop, and sleeps. But as usual, she has nightmares and wakes up startled. The next day, Patricia decides to bring her a psychologist named Anna to help her overcome the crisis. Anna's first question is what Vada does when she feels tired, especially after the incident. Vada tells her she might sleep for 14 hours straight or sit for hours watching series. Anna says she feels Vada is hiding something and promises if she tells, she won't tell anyone. Vada feels reassured and confesses she's not okay and can't cope since the incident, but hides her feelings from Patricia and Carlos, so they don't worry. Anna takes out a book with many psychological questions and asks Vada to answer them based on her feelings to assess her condition. Then Patricia takes Vada and Amelia to get a drink together. But Vada gets upset when Patricia brings up return to school and refuses to get out of the car. They return home, and Vada sleeps on the couch while Amelia sits next to her making videos on her phone. Suddenly, Vada finds a message from Matt asking to meet her. Vada goes to meet Matt, and their looks show they're both going through the same state. Still, Vada tries to support him, consoles him for his brother's death. The next day, Vada decides to turn off her phone and go stay with Mia. Without introduction, they decide to go to the pool and smoke illegal substances. Mia's nerves calm down, but for Vada, it gets out of hand. She talks a lot, can't even stand, gets tired, and falls into the water. Vada returns home and talks to Patricia, who brings up school again. Vada gets upset, goes to her room, talks to Mia, and tells her she's scared to return to school after the incident. As for Mia, her parents told her to study at home until her mental state improves. Vada gets upset from her mom's pressure and decides to sleep to go to school in the morning. Vada goes to school, but fear and anxiety show on her face to the point she's scared to enter the bathroom in case the scene repeats with all its details. From intense fear, she wets herself just because she stepped on a can that made a sound like a gun. Despite that, when she returns home, she tries to show her family the day went fine, and her condition started improving. But the next day, Vada decides to buy illegal substances and take them before going to school to face her fear. Unfortunately, it backfires and she dances, makes strange moves in class, suddenly bites a pen and ink spills in her mouth. Her classmates and teacher are in shock. She excuses herself to go to the bathroom but is under the influence, sits on the stairs, and sends a message to Nick to pick her up. Amelia is shocked by Vada's state and tries to help, but Vada leaves her and goes to sleep. After a while, she wakes up to a call from Matt, who says she sent him a message saying she took illegal substances, and he wants to check on her. Vada offers him to watch a movie at her house, and Matt agrees to check on her. He arrives, they sit, watch TV, and joke together. But suddenly he says he must leave because he has a problem at home. He's happy he checked on her, says goodbye, and leaves. Then Vada hears Patricia joking with Amelia in the kitchen, unaware she's listening. Vada gets upset and goes to her room. The next day, Vada gets up, brushes her teeth, puts on makeup, but Amelia knocks and asks what she's doing. Vada gets angry and yells at Amelia, but feels bad for yelling and goes to make up with her, only to find she left. Vada puts on her clothes and shoes to leave, but Amelia innocently asks why she's wearing makeup. Vada ignores her and tells her she doesn't want her to drive her today. We learn she's going to Mia's to drink. They feel happy, and suddenly it gets out of hand. They decide to go out and dance in the street late at night, feeling very happy. Since Vada isn't conscious, she sleeps at Mia's, so her family doesn't notice her state. The next day, Vada returns home and finds them all waiting at the door, very worried. She lies, saying she was at Nick's, but they surprise her that Nick called them many times to know her whereabouts. Vada gets embarrassed, nervous, says she's exhausted and needs to sleep, and runs to her room. Patricia and Carlos follow her, but Patricia asks Carlos to leave and asks Vada if she met a strange guy and did something wrong. Vada confesses she slept at Mia's because they drank together and couldn't return at night. She leaves her mom, takes a shower to sober up, then goes to Nick's house and apologizes for disappearing. She says she was at Mia's because she was unwell. Nick decides to confront her to wake her up, saying they're all affected by their classmates' horrific deaths, but he and the others moved on and returned to normal life. He says he gave her enough time and space to cope, but now he's fed up and can't accept her. Vada is shocked by Nick's words, argues with him, ends their relationship, and leaves. She goes to meet Matt and complains about what Nick did. Matt calms her and explains Nick did it because he's worried about her. He tells her even he was deeply affected by his brother's death, but managed to move on to not ruin his future. Yet he didn't forget their laughter and jokes together. Vada apologizes to Matt for reminding him of his brother and allows him to talk about his brother whenever he wants. We see mutual admiration in their looks, and suddenly Vada gets close to Matt, but he gets nervous, says he's confused and can't sort his feelings. Vada gets embarrassed, gets out of the car, and walks away crying. Even when she sees a message from Mia, she ignores it, returns home, and stays in her room. At night, Amelia comes to sleep next to her, crying, saying she feels guilty, thinking Vada is upset with her for calling her. Vada tells her she's the person she loves most in the world, but is exhausted and deeply affected. To comfort Amelia, she says Amelia was the only one she thought of during the incident and sent her a message saying she loves her because she thought she was going to die. Amelia is happy, sleeps in Vada's arms, and asks her not to leave her again. The next day, Carlos takes Vada to a quiet place by the sea so they can both scream loudly and release negative emotions. Vada returns from this trip feeling better and first checks on Mia, but keeps knocking with no answer. Vada worries about Mia, enters through the back door, and worries more when she finds a glass of alcohol on the bar. She quickly runs to the sauna room, finds Mia unconscious, wakes her up, carries her on her shoulder, and takes her to her room. Mia tells Vada she can't live her life normally, and to not kill herself, Mia decides to return to her dance lessons the next day. Vada encourages her, saying she'll stay by her side no matter what. Mia is happy with her words, and they take a picture together to capture the moment. Later, at Vada's second session with Anna notices Vada wrote, she felt scared in many situations. Anna asks about the scariest moment. Vada says she was scared at school not just because it reminded her of the incident, but because she saw all her classmates, including her boyfriend Nick, moved on and thought about their futures, while she's unable to do so. She's sad because her relationship with Nick ended since she loved him deeply. At that moment, Vada breaks down, unable to imagine her life change because of some criminals killing innocent kids. After pouring out her heart, she decides to change, reconciles with her mom, and tells her she was struggling with herself and never meant to worry or upset her. In the end, Vada goes to Mia at her dance lesson place, sends her a message saying she's waiting to go out and change the mood. Mia is happy and says she's almost done, but then Vada sees news of another school robbery killing 12 students. Unfortunately, she remembers everything she went through, relapses, and this time it seems she won't overcome what happened, and the film ends. Thanks for watching.